I'm not sure if we're live. I think we are. Okay. So, we just want to create a simple. It's my first live stream ever. I'm just doing it for the vibes, for the fun. Not the best programmer, not the worst. We're going to use Go, and we're going to try to make a library that would help us with authorization in our APIs or microservices or services. So, Go mod init, and then we're going to say github.com/it's not nil. I don't even remember my name. And then Z. Okay. Step one. Usual stuff, func main. Alright. And then go run main. Cool. Let me just get that up and running. Okay. So what do we want? We're going to keep it all in main.go for now, but we'll break it down later if we want to, if we care about it. The beginning would be, okay, what do we want to do really? We want to have like a principle, and let's say that's a string. Then we want to have an action. That's also a string. I'm not going to get that stuff disabled for now. Then what else? We want a resource. Resource would be a string. Then we want a policy. That's a struct. Or a statement, let's call it. And a statement is taking a pattern. So that's how I'm seeing it. I'm not saying that's what we're going to use, but that's so weird because I'm like basically streaming to just myself. But who cares? A statement is a principle, which is a principle. We need an effect. Type effect string const allow. So that's an effect, and that's allow, and then deny. Cool. So principle, pattern, and has an effect, which is an effect. Okay. And the principle is, for example, user John. Action would be, for example, delete documents. Resource could be documents, and then the name or the ID of the document, which could be, for example, A, B, C, D, E, F. A pattern is a global pattern that would basically be used to because we could use, when we describe rules, so for example, that user is allowed to delete documents, we could just add those actions, like imagine an array, a slice of actions, like this. So for example, statement v1 could be, so you have the principal, let's say P is the principal, then you have R is a resource, and then we could have A as a slice of actions. You know what I mean? The problem with that is that can be tedious to add them all. Imagine especially for the admin or super admin that can do everything. That's just annoying. And we don't want to start adding flags like is super admin as a boolean, and then if yes, you can short circuit the whole shebang and then you allow. We don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is instead, what I've done below, resource string, resource. Okay. And essentially, a user in your app, or not a user, but like a user group or a role, is a collection of statements. You know what I mean? So a statement would be, for instance, instead of users here, it could be roles admin, or viewer, or analyzer, or whatever you want, analyst. So the action delete documents. Let's clean that up. Pattern is a global pattern to describe actions, one or multiple actions. And an example is, well, that could be delete documents, full stop, or that could be delete anything, or that could be anything documents. So like that person or that principal has all the rights when it comes to the documents piece of the app. So the statement would be principal effect on resource if pattern matches. Okay. Now, that's nice. I'm thinking. Statement patterns, blah, blah, blah. Where are the other missing pieces? Yeah, but actually, the statement can't be like that. Because then what we want to do is have a check. So for example, in an evaluation, type evaluation struct, and the evaluation would be so can principal do action on resource. So these would be real full values, like fully formed strings. Whereas in the statement, even resource, we could have document that all the documents, for example. Okay. So what we're going to do is a statement as a principal. We need the full principle that we don't joke around. The resource is going to be a string, and it's going to be a glob pattern describing one or many resources. And then the action is going to be the exact same. I know right now it's very conceptual, but we're going to get some real examples done. We just need to get these done so we can do some test actions and then the effect. Cool. So an evaluation is, now we can just basically get up this here. Principal, action, resource. That's literally all we need. So if we have statements, we're going to have effect, allow. What the fuck is going on? Oh. We're going to have effect, allow, and then principal is going to be users dot John. Action is going to be allowed to do to manage bidding, or to manage or delete documents. And resource would be, for example, the documents in a specific organization. So documents in the org, Microsoft, and all of them. Okay. So now we can do another one. So for example, he can also delete comments. Let's do posts and comments, it's easier. Posts, comments. Cool. Okay, these are the statements. So that would be, for example, John, the CMPS, John statements. Obviously, they would be saved in the database, and then we would fetch them once we authenticated the user. But right now, we're just playing around. Then we want to create an evaluation, and that's eval, test eval, would be evaluation. So the principal, we would say, is user John. Action is delete comments. Resource is comments, Microsoft, and then it's comment, ID, A, B, C, D, F. Right. So now, what we want is a function. It's evaluate, and that takes an evaluation. I'm going to call it E, and then it replies with an effect. By default, we're going to return deny. Now we also need a statement and that's going to be a slice of statement, and we want to do actually put it bigger so you can see, but then I can't see, so that's annoying. So I think we can do kind of a for STMT, range, CMTS. So first we need to check for a statement func as statement is principal matches principal p string, and then say bool. So what we want here is whether, because we can't trust that the statements passed to us are all like relevant. They could be for another user, they could be about something else, so we want to ignore these. If statement that matches the principle of the evaluation, let's use that like that. I think we have what we need to do though is get a glob. Golang glob match. Oh, I've already searched for that stuff, for other things. Yeah, there's something easier, like simpler, quick. Okay, that looks pretty, let's import the whole shebang. We're just playing around, because then in the end we can create utils. I'll just do alright. Okay. So then return glob. So the pattern is the statement. So as the principal matches p, then this is the string file, and we can do the same for matches resource or resource return glob. And here, so we want s dot resource compared with r, and we want to do the exact same matches action a. Action A. Okay, so it's not optimized, matches principal equals this, and then matches resource, STMT matches resource. And then matches action, STMT matches action, action. Cool, now if it doesn't match the action, or it doesn't match the principal or the resource. We continue. We peace out. All right. Now, if it's relevant, if statement is has an effect that is allow, then we return no. Outcome is deny. If there is an explicit allow, then outcome becomes allow, and then we return the outcome. Because by default, we would deny, unless there is a specific statement that matches that allows. Now, what if we have, imagine here, two statements. So for example, imagine you have delete post twice, and you have one deny and one allow. We want to handle that use case. So what we can do is if statement dot deny, no, I'm talking about equals deny, then we want to return immediately the deny. Because we need, look, by default, let me put it here, readme.md. By default, we evaluate to deny, unless there is an explicit allow in the statements, but if there is a single explicit deny, we peace out. Okay, so outcome is denied by default. That's the first line. Maybe put this thing here. Then, if there is an explicit allow in the statements, we set it to the outcome to allow. But there is a single explicit deny, we peace out. So that should work. And then we return the outcome. So now what we can do is outcome equals evaluate test eval and statements. Just statements. So now if we print the outcome, what should it be right now? For the delete comments, should be allow, right? Right. Now if we remove this one, it should be deny. So far, so good. You know what I mean? So far, so good. I don't have music, I have coffee. It's a bit weird that music, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit quiet, especially there's no one in the room. There is someone watching in silence. You know what I mean? Probably a bot. Not gonna lie. First stream ever. It's unlikely that a real human being is gonna find their way to me. Okay, so let's try our weird use case. What we have, it's already here. Okay, so now if we remove delete post. So delete post, we should have a deny because of this one. Yeah. Cool. Now, as an example, delete comments. If we change the organization to, I don't know, Apple. So if we keep it the same, it should work. Allow. If we change it to Apple, it should deny, because it doesn't match anymore. Yeah. That kind of... We're going to call that an evaluation request, maybe? Whatever. Yeah, I think that's a good start. That's a good foundation. We're going to move all that stuff out of here. What now? What? Can we remove that? You know what? Fine. Test. Simple. I hate writing test. Hate it. Assert. Change all that stuff. Can we remove that? And just use test. Yeah. What's going on? Assert outcome p equals allow. You know what I mean? Yeah, cool. That works. Okay, now the problem is we need to create a policy. That's driving me crazy, because the font is so big that I can't follow the usual flow that I have with my eyes. We're going to put function evaluate. Oops, forgot to go. Evaluate here. Package of TE, and now principal. I know that's going to get dirty because we're going to have so many files, but it's too big. Action, go. Effect is just way too big for me. Okay. And the actions, and the same with resources, they're not. It's not our problem. It's not our problem as designer of the library. The person using it will care about that, and they will define their own. Their own. Okay, the problem with pattern. Right. Do we have pattern use anyway here? No, we don't. So here should be pattern. Technically, we can even do it here if we want, but no, let's not be too broad right now. What's S? What's going on here? So pattern. We're gonna say func p pattern. Oops. String return p. And then we're gonna say func new pattern str. You know what it is. String, and we return a pattern. So yeah. We could make it more complicated as a struct and an embedded string in there. But I mean, we're just having fun right now. Yeah. Cool. So now we can use here string. Oops. String. Cool. Okay, now we need evaluation to go. We need statement to go. Okay, we're gonna keep that clean, and we're gonna remove that file. Right. So. What we want also is create a statement. We're going to give it an ID, just for fun. Func new statement. So we'll take an effect. That's going to take a principal, and then it will take a resource. And that's a pattern, and then it will take an action. And that's a pattern. We need to make those helper create function because otherwise it's just it's too much hassle. And then we return. Right now we're not going to do any validation for now. The ID we're going to create a time now. Yeah. Do we have time? Okay. We can just implement like get a go no ID package, this one, if we want. Just to make it a little clearer. Boom. What's going on here? Then what? We need to create the generating function. Okay. So then we say ID maker, I assume. That's it. Yep. Effect, principal, resource, action. Okay, that works. But what we're going to do is a find new allow statement, and we're going to copy all of this. And this time we just return new statement, and we're going to pass it allow, then principal resource action. That's it. Yeah. And then you deny. I don't know about that. Okay. Right. So now we have helper functions to create quick, you know what I mean? Like quick statements. And same principle, same for resource, find new resource. And then we take a string, and then we return a resource. Return resource. Oops. str. Cool. I'm going to end it for the other shebang. Same with principal. Pattern is done. Action. And if we want, we can do validation. Like for example, if we know our actions are always like a letter that's uppercase with some letters that are lowercase and then another one, like it will never be, for example, billing. If you know that, then you can obviously modify the new, like the factory function to create the constructor to validate it. So you would use regex or something like that in here. And you would obviously have error in case there's an error. Right now, we don't really care. We're just having fun. So we're pretty lenient. So now, for example, SCMT1, John can create posts. We're going to have new allow statement with new principal as users John. And we can go even crazier. We can have new user principal, username, ID, user ID, and then what we have is what do we have? I just blanked. I think about something else. A second, I lost it. I lost my train. I'm off board. Oh, yeah, okay. I see what I meant. Strings, join, separator is going to be the slash. The element will be the user. It will be a string, and then we have users, and then we have user ID. So here, instead of typing that, we can do user principal John. And the thing is, because you can have users as principals. The principal is, for those who don't know, is like an identity. It represents someone or something that has the ability of performing some actions in your system, or your app. So a principal could be a user of the app. That's usually what it is. But imagine a system where you have microservices, and the user might trigger one action with one of the services, but then that service might trigger interaction with other services. You might have like a fan-out kind of event system. So for example, you could have user, let's do it here, actual human user deleting a document, and that will create multiple actions. So you have to delete images associated with document, delete comments associated with document, and so on. And sometimes you want to identify as the service and not the user. For example, here you could have service principal, service name, and then you have services and service name. Or if you don't really want to use uses or services, you can have your role principal. Well, let's put it role ID to be fair. So yeah, a principle is kind of an abstraction over people or systems doing something. It could be an external API or something. So new user principle, and then what is it? I don't even know. New resource. What? Yep. New resource. What does it talk about patterns? Oh yeah. My bad. New pattern. And that will be, it can do anything. John is God. I know we said create post, so let's create post. So where are we at now? Resource. And the resource is new resource. Isolates again a pattern. I'm so confused right now. I'm so tired. What? What do you mean? What? What do you mean? What? What do you mean? What? Wait, apparently my sound is messy. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, because I had two mics on. Well, that's silly. Yeah. Oh, because I had two mics on. Okay. It's kind of fixed now. Oh, that must have been annoying, because the new pattern, I think we're going to change the order, because it's person, action, and then resource. Action, and then it's post.microsoft. Is it better now? Let me know if you can hear properly. I can't pronounce your name. Connor. I think it's fine now. Okay, so we get an allow statement. If we want, if we're like, we don't want to forget the order and stuff like that, we can create kind of a statement builder, or not even a statement builder, but you know, we can create something like that. That would be, for example, set effect, and here we pass an effect, and then we basically do s.effect equals e, and then we return s, so then we can chain them. Oops. Yeah, that's weird, Connor, because it tells me that there's only one person watching when you're watching and I'm watching. So that's just very odd. Principal, we can do the same. What is there as well? Principal, resource, and action. Resource, I'm gonna call it R. What's going on now? Action. That's A. And I know it's saying red because these are patterns, I believe, normally now. All right. So now instead of that, we can do mark can delete post and have a statement, and then what's going on? Yeah, I swear, what's going on? Oh, I think I know what's going on. Mark and set action, and you say allow. Or we can even do it so it's easier. str, and then a string, and then we create the pattern here. Now there are a million ways of doing it. It depends where you want to delegate kind of the validation and all that stuff on. Because if you do that and the pattern is wrong, in the future, if you want to add errors, you would probably have to check the errors here. So I would recommend you keep it like that. And then new, well, here is easy. For example, what we did here. And then you can set the principal, the effect, blah, 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 the same way. So it could be easier to write, especially when you write like dozens and dozens of them for your app. But like that, for now, that'll work. So now we're going to make it even easier. We're just going to return the statement. Because I don't want to deal and like focus too much on error handling right now. We just literally want to work on building stuff. So we can add this one here, and then we're going to create another one. John cannot delete posts. So then delete and post. And that's a deny. So I want to add this, and then we want to add John can not do anything with comments. So John, anything that's related to comments, so anything comments, he cannot do. And what we want, and that's super important, I think, is that we don't want the order of things to change the outcome, ever. When we have the statements, we only care about the ones that are relevant to the current principle, the current evaluation, I guess, principle, action, resource. And then, whatever the order is, we evaluate them all, and we do what we did here. Evaluate them all, the relevant one at least. And that kind of flow makes it deterministic. So regardless of the order, we will get the same results. Okay, so now I think we can create John, because we're going to use him quite a bit. Mark. Okay. Now, so how would that work in a real app? The workflow would be you would have a request coming in. So for example, an API request, your middleware would authenticate the GWT, JSON Web Token, which hopefully you already, have in place. Then you have another middleware that would load permissions based on user identity. So essentially what that means is user ID that you get from the JWT equals John. So now you fetch, select, I'm just kind of pseudo-coding statements, all from statements, where principal equals users John. And that gives you users John. Because remember, we decouple the library with your actual app. So John in your app is a principal in the authorization system. So the principal is users John. Now, if you take the user.id, so that's what it is here. Now user.role may be, admin. So now you have roles admin as a principal, for example, here. And then it's up to you which one you want to use. admin role equals new role principal admin. So now you can do that, or you can do roles admin. If you see what I mean. And then all of that will give you statements. Okay. So now you have statements for the current user. You can have in your handler, in your request handler, you would kind of create an evaluation object, which would contain the current permission needed, and then would also contain what is in our evaluation. Current permission, so the action, the resource it is being applied to, and a principle, which you have from the context, for example. And then, now I would wrap that entire thing in a function, for example, evaluation from CTX, and then you pass the CTX, or evaluation from, whatever. So you can pull up as much information as needed, and here you can add, for example, the delete comments if it's not available in the CTX. Anyway, and then you would simply evaluate. If it's allow, then you carry on. Deny, it's 403. So that's it. That's really the flow. Now that also means you would need a, how do you call that? You need stores, or I would say administration. I think in some places it's called a policy administration. Is it point? PAP. That's the one. It allows the administrators to define and administer the policies. So, for instance, we would declare it as a administrator, but not administrator as in administration, let's say. And then that's an interface. And what can you do? Save statements. Statements. And find statements, or list, or get statements by principal. So you could fetch from the database the relevant statements if you have quite like a few. Now, what we could do as well, principal. So that would be the user you're currently taken care of. What you could do is find candidates, and you would simply pass the evaluation. And then from the database, you can do some, if you use, for example, SQL, and you store statements in SQL, you can simply do, you can use like and replace the globs by percentages when you save and when you load. Because these are the wildcard kind of characters. Okay, so that would be kind of the administration side of it. And then in your you could also call it a store, whatever, or a repository. It's up to you. So what you would have in a way is in here, when you load the permission based on the user identity, you could just load them all at that point, all of them, or you could skip that part for now. And in the request handler, you can pass it the store, which is this. And you would essentially, in that function, load the relevant evaluations, the relevant statements for that evaluation. That's how you could do it. If you have millions of users in your app, you don't want to load at every API call every statement for that user, unless you cache it. But then if you have multiple kind of like serverless situations where you have multiple machines, you might cache it on one, but then their next request is going to go to the other computer and it's not cached anymore. So I would 200% recommend you use the store here to fetch the relevant candidate. The problem with that thing is then you need to do the SQL kind of a query and build that. But it's probably more performant. Yo, 3 people on the stream right now. We're hitting records, breaking ceilings. Okay, so evaluation is pretty simple. Now what we could do is make this a little more exciting and helpful for debugging. Because if you want to send a, like for example, let's say you run an evaluation like we did here, and we print out the FMT println for the outcome. It's not very helpful. Oh, my bad. What's going on? Evaluation. John, delete comments. No, he cannot do. Yeah, so that's correct. It should be deny. That's all good. All good. I tricked myself. This is crazy. This is not very helpful, deny. It's helpful for the user at the end when they make their API call. It says denied, they're not allowed. Done. But for us, for debugging and stuff like that, we probably could do type outcome struct and have effect, and that's going to be the effect, still the same. So we can create, let me see, let me think. This is crazy. I'm thinking out loud a little bit, and the more I speak, the more I get this, like, I lose focus. Effect, then we can say explicit, a Boolean, and then we can say statement. or decider. Boom, this is what we do, statement. And the decider is a pointer to a statement because if it's implicit, then it's null. You know what I mean? So now we're going to have, this is what we're going to do it. We're going to do func new outcome. And when we do that, we essentially return a basic outcome with effect deny, explicit false, decider nil. Boom. Now we also want to have func outcome allow implicit. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to do allow, and then we return the outcome anyway. You know what? No, we don't. Effect equals allow. Oh, this is fun. I'm not gonna lie, for the first stream, it's kind of fun. Bit stressful. I deny, but we're also gonna have you know what? I have an idea. Explicit bool, decider statement. And that's it. And we're going to do that. Technically, we don't even need this because we know it becomes explicit as soon as we set it ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now we have that. What we can do is outcome equals new outcome. Okay, here we're going to return an outcome. And statement effect deny equals outcome dot deny. And the decider is that statement. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love when stuff works. Now here we don't return. Damn, I'm alone again. I'm alone again. Everybody left. Sad. But I'm not gonna stop. I'm unstoppable, you know what I mean? Still gonna keep going. Still gonna pour some coffee and get that stuff done. And this is what people say when they say you need to focus on the like what your library is about, rather than which database you want to use, like all these details, implementation details. And when you read clean code, clean architecture, domain-driven design, I don't really believe too much into that stuff. Because remember, those guys are selling you books and selling you seminars, selling you training and courses and that stuff. So that's why they want to tell you, hey, you're doing it wrong. You got to do it this way. Let me teach you. Give me money for this and I'll teach you. No. But one thing is right in all this stuff is, hey, you do not want to think about implementation details right now because no one cares. At this moment, we don't care what database we're using. All we care about is the domain. like what we're working on. I'm going to create func new evaluation. And the evaluation is going to have build evaluation. And we're going to have evaluation return evaluation. And then we're going to add like setters. You don't have to. If you want to build it yourself, you can just add parameters here. Yeah, actually, we're going to do that. Now, we're going to build the setters. Okay, so E for evaluation with principal P principal, and we return evaluation. E dot principal equals. No, I'm doing nonsense right now. This is crazy. E. Okay, and we're going to do the same with the action. A. And we're going to do the same with resource. R. Boom. New evaluation. Okay, so now when you're in your API, so for example, evaluation.test, and we want to create the test package, func test evaluation, new evaluation, we want to test that eval, new evaluation, action, I see what's going on here. With action, and the action will be, for example, new action, save document, with principal. And that would be from an API call, you know what I mean? So that would be, for example, new user principal John, and with resources, new resource, and we said documents slash, or we can put the organization first. Google.documents.document ABCDEF. Okay, so now we want to assert. This is what it should be. This is what we want. We want evaluation that has principal John, action this thing, and document and resource this thing. If it's not that, we are doomed. Assert equal T, we want this, and we're going to call it got. All right, if it's wrong, then we're wrong. Because it's, come on, no one, this is silly. Okay, so we got it. So in your API handler, so you have a func API handler, for example, for a get or like post at this point, post documents, organization, org ID, document doc ID, So you get that on your API. So doc ID, you get it from the URL. So for example, if you use chi URL param and you get doc ID, you know, that stuff. I'm going to just summarize here. And then you create that thing. So you know it's the API handler for creating or saving documents. So then you just put it here. And then you evaluate. That's the important part. And then you evaluate. Okay, so now what we want to do is create a store. Where did I put that stuff? Administration. We're going to call it a store. So we're going to create an implementation of in-memory in-mem store impl. Impl. So what does that mean, really? Is we're going to have a struct with stmts, and that's going to be a map of. Are we going to do a map, or are we going to do a slice? What do you want, guys? There's one person watching now. You get to decide. What do we get? What do we use? Map or slice? So that would be a map of ID and then the statement, or slice, and that would be that. You decide. Literally, it's up to you. You just have to type map or slice. We ain't got, too much time. It would be good to move on. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I'm choosing now. We're going to use a slice. Okay. So, usual shebang, new in memory, in mem store. We want to return a store, so we return. So implementation is in mem store. Return impl. Impl. How am I doing? What? Oh yeah, I see what you mean. So now we can copy this, put that stuff in there. We're going to do this. We're going to do func store in mem. Boom. So we want to save statements. This is what we're going to do. I know before someone comments, I'm saying that like I have people watching, but we normally use mutexes. So we would use mute. So that would be sync rw mutex. I know. We're not going to do it right now because we don't care. That is not the point of the video. You know what I mean? So instead what we want to do is we need to check if we have a statement first, because we don't add. There's no point adding if we already have. Exists. Statement exists. Question. Bool. So we're going to do for loop stmt range store statements. If stmt.id equals s, what's going on here, equals s.id, then we return yes. Otherwise, it's a very clear false, okay? So this is what we're going to do. If store.statement statement exists, we have multiple, my bad. Damn, repetition is killing me right now. SMTS. If we have that statement, we keep pushing. Goodbye, see you laters. If we don't, then store.smts, you know what's going to happen? We append it. Because that's what we do, we be appending. And that's it. We're never going to have errors here because we're not doing anything crazy. But if your store implementation is in SQL, then you better believe you're going to have errors at some point. Database is unavailable or like whatever shenanigans you're facing. That's it. We save the statements. Boom. Now we want to get statements by principle. You know how that works. State. So like items. It's a statement says empty. At the end we return items and nil. Damn, I typed too fast. And then we just loop over it. stmt. Range store.stmts. And then if stm, damn, can't even type. Principal equals p principal. What? Oh no, p is already a principal. My bad. There's strings, so the equality is going to work. We add it. Items dot append, and we add the statement. That's it. That's pretty simple, to be honest. Remember, in real life, you would never have it in memory. That's more for tests and for us to have fun. Because in real life, you want to persist in a database because you might have multiple services querying that database. They don't want them to have them in isolation on their machines. And then find candidates. That's where it gets tricky. You know what I mean? Candidates. That's where it gets super tricky. We're gonna match again. Except now, so an evaluation has a principal, an action, a resource. Principal is the user. So is if evaluation that action. Wait, I need to think. This is the tricky part. This is a tricky part. Is it tricky though? Because in a way it's kind of what we did here. Statement evaluation. Yeah, it's not tricky. It's not tricky at all. Yeah, it's not tricky at all. That's it. Sorted. And if it's fine, then candidates, we just add it. STMT. Boom. Again. Yeah, what's going on? Why is it not working right now? I swear. Oh. Damn, I'm so tired. And we can seed it. You know what I mean? Seed. Or even better, we're going to do this. Impl. Seed. And now we're going to create that shebang here. Seed. And we're going to add a few. So we're going to add what we have here. So we're going to create Mark and John. We're going to have two users. We're broke. Our app is bad. This is bad. Our app only has two users, John and Mark. That's it. And then patterns, we're going to have create post. So that's how you would have it in your actual app. You would have new action, create app. No, create post, my bad. And then you would have delete post. Delete posts. Like you would have these set up in the app somewhere in a folder of yours. And then you would use that, not that every single time. That would just be called once when you're initializing your app. Oh, shit. My battery is about to die. Give me a sec. We back. We back for some coding. Let's go. So that's what you would have normally. You would have stuff like that. Var somewhere. And then you call it from everywhere in your app. Because that you know ahead of, like you know in advance. You know in advance what people are allowed to do in your app, because that's your app. So you do whatever the F you want. So then we're going to add store.statements. We're going to add an add function. And we're going to add no, we don't care. I don't have time for this. Store.statements append. And we're going to add new statement, allow. The principal is John. The action is a pattern, as you know. We could have designed the app to use these instead. Directly and not use like glob patterns. But the problem with these is then it's just very repetitive and you have to include them all. Whereas with glob patterns, you can group like 10 actions into one by using, for example, create anything or do anything with documents. You know what I mean? So posts, it can do anything with post. Post slash, so the organization is Google, for example, and then posts, all of them, can create all the posts. Now, he can also deny Mark cannot delete anything in the app. Nothing. Literally nothing. Okay, so then we have 2. And John can manage users in the company. So users in Google, it can. What's going on here? My phone is going crazy. Okay, that's that. Boom, it's seeded. So now when we do our test, we can have the store in, what do I mean? In memstore. Okay, I think that's it. Now we don't care about any of this anymore. We could technically, in the evaluate function, add the store. So then all the logic resides here. And we don't even need the statements anymore. Because now, STMTS, we do store dot find candidates. I mean, that we don't really care right now. I don't even know when I created it. Evaluation. And then if is a nil, We panic. No. Which one is it? Log fatal. I'm tired. Let me be. Okay. So that's what's up. This is what's going on now. We have a store. And here. No. This is crazy. I messed up. We have an evaluation. And we have the store that we pass. Okay. That's it. And now we have the outcome. And outcome should be effect should be deny. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm not sure I'm right, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm right. New user principal uses the John. I'm getting stressed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sweating. New action. And technically, new resource. Let's do things nicely and clean. You know what it is? We do it clean. Technically, I think we had a new evaluation as well. New evaluation. And then we could do with action. So I create tools that I don't even use. That's kind of sad. Principal. We're gonna use our boy here. What's going on now? With resource. The resource. What resources have we used here? Google, post, and the post ID is post ABCDEF. ABCD. All right, so that's what we want to do. Now we know. Yeah, you're not gonna see anything here. This is crazy. Evaluation. I'm gonna put it here for you guys because I'm nice. That's it. So the test, imagine you're in your API handler. Forget about authentication, authorization. This is gone. You're in your API handler. You have someone calling delete HTTP function org Google /post ABCDEF. That's what's happening right now. Someone call that. You're in your API handler. You extract that part and that part from the request, and you extract the principal from the context or whatever authentication you used. You have that set up. Now you call the evaluation function, you give it a store, and you give it the eval. Boom, you're done. Okay, now the outcome should be for John deleting comments. Can John delete comments? No, he cannot. So right now, it should evaluate to deny. Exactly, deny. And as you can see now, we made it nice. We made it nice for debugging. It used to be true or false, basically. Now we have, you know what? Let's make it even nicer. Not nicer, but so we can see more stuff. I think it's plus and pound. Yeah. Effect deny, explicit false, decider, none. Okay? So what we want to do is now allow him to do it. So to allow him, we're going to pull, that's John, and that's Mark. So we want him to be allowed to delete comments. Delete anything. He can delete anything. You see what I mean? Or we can keep it here and then, whatever, comments. He can delete comments. Yeah, that's it. Let's say you want to delete that specific comment ABC. Com1. Post 1, com1. So now, comments, com1. Post 1, com1. Let's go. Now he should be able to. If not, we're in trouble, guys. We need to debug that stuff. That's not good. It should be allowed now. Now we're failing. I don't know what's going on. Delete anything. Oh, I think I know what's going on. We forgot that stuff. Simple things in life. No? What? He's allowed to delete anything. Google posts. Google posts, comments. Yeah, there's something happening now that I'm confused by. Not gonna lie. It should work, no? Let me see. Let me see the evaluate function. This is why we need more debugging even. We can put evaluated and we can do a map of yeah, but we need that's just crazy. Okay, we're gonna do let's see what candidates we have. ftmt dot print. Yeah, I'm going crazy right now. I'm sweating. I'm stressed. I'm like, oh. Okay, let's see. What? Okay, I'm focused now. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have none here. That's crazy. So that means it's in this function here. Good old debugging. You know what time it is? We're gonna get there, I swear. They don't match the resource, they don't match the action. What do you mean? You're deleting this. Yeah, this is... What? This is crazy right now. I'm a bit confused if I'm being real. Okay, let's see. Let's see what's popping. Let's see what's not working right now. So we get this one. It's not matching the resource. So the resource we have is this. Oh, we inverted something somewhere. It's action, principal, action, resource. Yeah, in the statement we messed up somewhere. Principal, action. Oh, are you for real? This is why sometimes we just waste so much time for nothing. Literally for nothing. Okay, so now that still didn't fix it. This is crazy. My mind is playing tricks on me. Okay, resource, principal, action. So the one that should match is the delete. Users mark. What? What are you talking about? Oh, what did I do here? No. This is the thing, like wasting time for nothing. Delete. He can delete anything. Anywhere in the company. So that should match. Boom! We did it! Let's go! Let's go! Alright, so we can remove all that shebang. We might just comment it because we might need that in the future. There was something else, some other logging that I did, I think. I don't remember where, in the evaluation function. Yeah. Okay. That's it. And then you can do other stuff. Like you can obviously, now have a couple of API endpoints where you could add policies, remove policies. But all in all, that would be the core. That would be the core. What you can do then is create another evaluate function, and that could be evaluate many. You know what I mean? And you can have one outcome and then also all the outcomes just in case. So evaluate many means, well, you have multiple evals. So you would put them like this, and you would essentially have all the outcomes as outcomes. You may want to have some sort of like, if it's empty, if the evals are empty, return, new outcome, which is wrong by default, like denied by default, for example, or allowed. It depends on your app and what you want to have, really. But generally, you would do that. And then you would do a for loop. Well, technically, we're going to do make outcome, and the length is evals. Eval, range evals, and then you get the outcome equals evaluate. You pass the store eval, whatever it is, e, and then you append that to outcomes out. You can do it at this point right here, and then you go through all the outcomes in your range. Outcomes, outcome equals new outcome. So what do we want to do here? That's the question. You return outcome, outcomes for debugging. What do we want to do here? It's like if O equals if it's a deny, then outcome deny, and the decider is O decider, and we return. Because we're done. If O is allow, effect equals allow, then the outcome is allow with O decider, but we don't return because there might be a deny right after. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking of a huge dramatic bug right now. No, actually, no. Actually, no. Because my question is, imagine we want to create another one, and this one is a post. It has something completely different. Let's say he wants to add candies. Add candies. Same as John. Candies. E2 should be denied. You know what I mean? The compiler is driving me crazy. Yeah, that's a deny. That's an allow, that's a deny. So if we want to evaluate many, we put E1, E2. We don't care about the outcomes. So now we should have a deny as well, regardless of the order. Yeah, no, it works. My bad. And then the outcome is deny. Okay, but if it's an allow, if it's delete comments again, let's say they're both delete comments on a different post, he should be allowed to do both, right? I'm not crazy. No, it's allowed, yeah. So obviously if both are allowed, then... But why is the decider nil? Yo, this is crazy. Decider is a statement. Like, what do you mean? How is that? And we know it's explicit because it says it here. This is driving me crazy. The statement is nil here. But that makes no sense unless I messed up here. Oh, I didn't add it. Decider equals decider. Come on, you got me scared. I was like, what is going on right now? Okay. And if we want to see if outcome the decider is different of nil, we want to log that out real quick. Decider okay. What did I do? What have I done? I don't even know, to be honest. All right. So this is what's happening now. We create and implement a store, and the store has to implement the store interface, save statements, get statements by principal per user. So that could be useful if you want to show them their rights, like their policies and their statements, and then find candidates. And find candidates is fetching from the database or whatever persistent storage that we have based on an evaluation. Now, for those coming here, not knowing what an evaluation is basically an action made by someone on something. So if someone calls up this, that's the evaluation. You know what I mean? And then we evaluate it, and then we get the response. If they're allowed, if they're not allowed, like for example, add candies, John is not allowed to add candies, then he will say failed. Here, deny. And obviously we expect a deny because he's not allowed. If he is allowed, like delete comments, it will say it's been allowed specifically with this statement. So you know, for your debugging on your server, why was someone allowed to do something. if we want to see how and why someone wasn't allowed to do something, there are two scenarios. One, implicitly they were denied because there were no allow statement explicitly. And by default, when nothing is, described, you're neither allowed nor denied based on actual real statements. By default, you're denied. So that's one. The second case scenario would be you're explicitly denied. So let's add now the exact same here. He can delete everything, and at the same time, he cannot. Allow, deny, and everything else is the same here for John. We're talking about John right now. So in that scenario, nice, you're allowed, but no, because you have one explicit deny that is matching the evaluation, we want to deny. So we keep the same, except now we expect a deny with a decider, because this time we know which statement is denying. It's not implicit, it's very much explicit. So deny, pass, and that's the one that's denying access to that resource or deletion. Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. I think that's a good first stream for me. I learned that, my sound was not good at the beginning. And we made it to something that kind of makes sense. It's, not super rocket science, but it's useful. Pretty much every app in the world has some sort of authentication and then a layer of authorization. So I hope it was kind of useful and kind of clear. Yeah, I'll come up with either we can improve that one for the next stream, or we can simply do another small project maybe. Yeah, that's it. Tschüss. Goodbye. Arrivederci. I don't even know how to stop a stream. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Okay, bye.